Some official Dota. So one thing you're always concerned about when you lane or when you play against the Lich is that one of your lanes is gonna be lacking in the experience department, and so can't say mousesports really drafted around that, but they definitely have heroes that can catch up well. The sniper can use shrapnel to clear waves. Beastmaster can sort of split push, and so can Monkey King to a degree. So the real problem I see for mousesports is they really can't easily kill the heroes on Pentasports unless they're super ahead. The reason being is that you have the Venge swap to save whoever gets roared or whoever gets initially stunned. You have two heroes that are quite difficult to kill, like Necrophos with Ghost Shroud. You need a lot of magic damage. Mousesports don't really have that. Death Prophet can heal like crazy, and on top of that, you have to deal with the Frost Armor. So if this game goes late, I see some potential problems for mousesports in their damage department.
I mean, we've seen it a couple times before, and really it happens quite often when you get Necro picked. You think that, you know, you're going to have this Necro kill, all of a sudden he snags one of his own and he's almost impossible to kill.
Yeah. So I think the plan for mousesports going into the laning phase is not, well, obviously not fall behind, but try to get a little bit of an advantage so that when the time comes and their Wisp hits level 6 and they have all their ultimates, they can go around looking for relocate kills. Because Pentasports, it looks like they're gonna want to push. So the counter for mousesports in this situation is to try to pick them off as much as possible before Pentasports is able to group up.
So actually, it looks like they're sending Skylark down to the bottom lane. Over mid, you're going to have the Sniper against this Death Prophet. No surprise there. Lich heading up top with the Necrophos, and they're going to be up against the Monkey King and what looks to be the Wisp. We take a look over bottom. Skylark, he might be in a little bit of trouble. No stun, just going to go with the Wave of Terror for level 1. But they will just continue to harass him and make it a very tough lane for this Beastmaster in the early goings.
Yeah. Death Prophet took a lot of damage from this Earthshaker Sniper combination. Well, he's not going to get any help in this lane anytime soon, but... Or maybe the Weaver's coming over, actually. And it does look to be a support Weaver for Pentasports. And this Venge is farming the bottom lane.
So that puts Venge in the core. Is there anything that maybe might not work with a support Weaver in this lineup, or is it really fit quite well as they come over on this Sniper? They're going to try and get this first blood. He's getting body blocked by RMN. Thug needing to get very far away, and he's going to be able to eat that Crypt Swarm and run himself out. But he's still in this mid lane and in a bit of trouble if Weaver comes in again. And we take a look up top as Necro. He's going to be blocked out by that Fissure. Oliver hit by the Boundless Strike, and first blood goes the way of the Monkey King moderate.
And Weaver's going for the Courier. Misses it. Maybe?
Maybe on the way back?
Didn't see it. But, you know, I think the concept of support Weaver is you have this quite difficult to kill range hero that moves around quickly and can make a lot happen.
Coming in real deep. I don't know if you want to continue moving forward, especially against the Sniper on the high ground. Fissure's there. One more shot would kill 9, and there it is. Maybe next time cleans up the Death Prophet. And they've already got themselves a 1,000 net worth lead just 2.5 minutes in. Seems like
that haste really paying off for the Earthshaker.
Yeah. Seems like the aggression from Penta is kind of backfiring.
Down bottom.
Take a look over bottom. Venge getting chased out. The Fissure online. Boogie. Magic Missile thrown on Skylark. Not sure if that's going to save him. But does end up managing to get through that bottom tier 1. RMN comes in. He'll be the one who dies. Just trying to push back these two heroes, but without success.
Yep. And Pentasport's in a little bit of trouble here. Whenever you have a Lich lineup, you don't want to fall behind in the early game, since that hero really doesn't help you capitalize on anything in the mid game. Well, except in team fights, but Penta, they're gonna have to manage their lanes a little bit better, try to get some pickoffs here and there, because mousesports, they're playing their game right now. If they continue at this pace, it's gonna be really difficult for Penta Sports to deal with the pickoff potential from mousesports' lineup.
So you've had this poor start on Penta. Just it seems like it could snowball all out of whack for him if there's a couple more kills here for mousesports in the coming minutes.
Yeah, for sure. The one thing they have going for them, though, is this Wisp is only level 2. Wisp, or the top lane kind of got hurt by this Lich denying all the range creeps. And it looks like there's actually some huge rotations coming up top.
Yeah, they're trying to go in on Oliver, but Madara, he's going to be closed in by 4 heroes and taken out of this game.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing a bit of a lane swap. Bench to top, Necrophos to bottom.
You think this lane swap's going to be enough? Obviously, you know, you're losing out when you're swapping like this, and
I think Necrophos survives in either of the lanes that he was in.
Ooh, meanwhile, over mid-9, he's going to be taken out by the sniper. Or actually, maybe next time he's going to grab the last hit, but they came over with the TP from maybe next time, got the fissure to land on 9, and then continued to beat him down with the shrapnel and the last hits from Thug.
Yeah, these rotations from mousesports in the mid lane are working a lot better than the Weaver rotations for Pentasports, and so Death Prophet dies twice. Sniper is about, I guess, almost half a level ahead, and as I was saying about the Necrophos lane, the Necrophos survives in either of the lanes he's in, so I think they prefer that their Venge is in a lane where she can actually farm, because this Beastmaster originally was a lot of trouble for her. But it looks like mousesports make the same rotation, and so the problem continues for mousesports. So if you look at the net worth, it's pretty in favor of mousesports, but the EXP is still fairly even, which Pentasports have going for them, and I guess part of that is because the Lich is in the game, but also because the Earthshaker's been running around a lot, and the Wisp is also a little bit underleveled for this point in time. There is a rotation coming to bottom. I don't know if the Wisp spotted this Venge coming in.
Actually, Boogie
They're
coming
pinging
over.
it out.
Dyer's top tower needs some friends. Same as you, Tidehunter.
Venge
Another rotation top.
Venge not going to come back. We take a look over top as Skylark is here with maybe next time. They look like they're planning to go in on Oliver, but he's pretty deep under this tier 1. I don't know if they could even chase this far.
Nope. I don't think they have a way of killing him either. He has this Ghost Shroud on. There's no magic damage, well, there's barely any magic damage between these two heroes. Looks like Pentasports have been playing it safe for the last couple of minutes, not feeding any more kills. What Pentasports are looking for is their timing for pushing. They want the ultimate on Death Prophet. They want a couple of their ultimates just to help increase their teamfight abilities. And you know, whenever you have a Lich, you can afford to play passive, since you're winning the lane just from having a Lich planted in it.
So, is the plan for Penta to really slow down this game right now, just heavily like this? Because in the last couple minutes, mousesports haven't really been able to get any kills. They've been sitting very safe on the side of Penta. Are they just...
You'll see they're super safe right now. So the Venge and Lich, they're under their tier 1. The Necrophos was under their tier 1 for a while, and there might be a gank mid.
Yeah, they're looking for that Primal Roar. They're going to get it on the Death Prophet, and now they've got 2 heroes coming over, but a nicely placed fissure is going to keep them from coming into this fight too quickly. You take a look at Wisp, who might be taken out, but he survives for the time being. Now they're looking to chase RMN and Boogie running away. And mousesports, they'll take what they've got in the Death Prophet, back off, and continue working on this tier 1 mid.
Yep. I think Pentasports, they really wanted to bait that Death Prophet. You can see some of those TPs were preemptive. In fact, the Death Prophet was sort of edging up a little to see if she could bait the Roar, but turns out that mousesports had way too much damage, and the bait didn't really work from Pentasports. Or the save, I should say. I'm not sure if it was entirely bait. So it's not that Penta Sports want to slow down necessarily. It's that they want a couple of their spells because they're missing. They're still missing the Death Prophet ulti. She opted for this 304 build, which is fine because she's playing a little bit defensively. But they don't have. They just hit level 6 on Venge, and they still need to hit level 6 on Lich. And
take a look as Madara hit by the magic missile, but no follow up as RMN misses the swarm, and it's just him and the Venge anyway.
yeah. So the lockdown is much stronger on mousesports than on Penta. So Penta have to have these sort of team fights where they know they can take them, because they can't really initiate very well. Their only stun on their team is the Vengeful Spirit, and it's not really the most reliable stun in the game since it's very short range.
So let's take a look around the horn a little bit. You've got Treads already on the sniper. He's working well as we switch it over to the net worth and see that the 3 cores of mousesports, they lead the way in net worth
Up top.
quite a bit. As Oliver does go down to Skylark, and maybe next time I was not quick enough.
That's fine. He died in a hurry. Got that medallion on the Beastmaster and then the Roar to finish off the Necrophos.
Now you take a look over mid. They're just trying to chase Thug away as he's continuing to do chip damage to this tier 1 mid. They'll deny it. So I guess they got what they came for despite not getting the last hit on it.
Yep. You know, every tower counts for mousesports. They have the mid tier 1, they have the top tier 1. It opens up the map a lot for them, and their Wisp should hit level 6 soon. I'm pretty sure the Wisp just bought a Tome of Knowledge, sitting 3/4 towards level 6. That's when the game really starts for mousesports.
So who are they going to really look to relocate? Is it going to be the sniper? Because usually when you relocate someone, you're trying to be immediately in the fight. I feel like with sniper, you're relocating to more of a back-end position.
Sure, but I mean, even though you're relocating to a back-end position, he's still there. All of his spells are quite long range, and they do quite a bit of damage from a distance. So it's not the worst relocate target. I mean, it's not as traditional as say a Chaos Knight or Ursa or Sven, but it still works. Still delivers a lot of damage, and I imagine they'll want to sit this Wisp next to the sniper just to protect him. And since the sort of the burst and pickup potential from Penta Sports is quite weak, the Wisp should work really well at saving mousesports' heroes this game.
So they take this tier 2 up top, they smoke as a team, and they'll look to come down towards the bottom part of this map to see if they can find anybody on the side of Penta. They show Thug over mid, so nobody around here. 3 heroes over bottom. The 1 hero that's top is RMN, and he's back by his tier 3. And in fact, they actually get a scan on 9 over in this side end by the secret chest.
Yep. Mousesports, they're looking to push out the lanes right now. Mid needed to be pushed out, bottom needs to be pushed out, but afterwards, I imagine mousesports are going to go for an objective over a pick off on the right side of the map since they already have the tier 1 and tier 2 top. And Penta for now, whenever you have a Necrophos lineup, you're looking for that key pick off before you go for the team fighter. You're trying to survive as long as possible, so that the bottom.
Take a look, swap, Chain Frost, Reaper Scythe. They threw everything to Madara just to get 1 kill. They do take him out, but he's only dead for 21 seconds at this point.
Yep, I mean that's the kind of pick off they're looking for. They need all the pickoffs they can get since their ability to do so is quite weak. Pretty much all of their ganks are going to look like that. The swap into stuns.
But when you use everything like that, where you've used Chain Frost, you've used Swap, which isn't the worst in cooldown time, it's only 45 seconds, but Chain Frost and Reaper Scythe, you can't really go for what's next.
Yeah, they're out of commission for the next minute, but I mean, it's totally worth it because they killed the safe lane Monkey King, and I mean, that's just the nature of their lineup. Whenever they use their spells, they have to wait a bit. You got these long cooldown or relatively long cooldown heroes. especially the Death Prof. I mean, that's their biggest cooldown, and we haven't even seen that been used yet. Mousesports are getting a little aggressive in the top lane. They might find the Weaver.
Went right past him, but I thought Madara had seen him going up on that tree.
So the Weaver just planted these 2 wards, which should help them look for potential ganks in the top lane. Because whenever you play Beastmaster and Monkey King, they want to be chilling in their respective off lanes, just because it's a lot more common for them to find heroes here. I'm sure Penta Sports is aware of that, so they dedicated 2 wards into this top lane.
So Thug's already got that Dragon Lance, and not too far off of that Maelstrom. His farm's 1,300 in front of the next person, or in front of the first person on Penta, which is this Death Prophet who only has a medallion looking for the Yules next.
Yep.
Just this.
And there's the smoke coming up from Mousesports. They don't have any vision coming up this hill. In fact, their smoke gets broken from the Necrophos. Bit of a weird path for them there. I think Mousesports, if they were looking for a hero in that area, they had to commit the Monkey King to jump up there first. Because they're definitely looking to take this tower. In fact, it looks like they're starting to dig a tunnel through the trees on the right side of the tier 1. The Hawk might spot out this Necrophos.
And he's shown himself by this tier 1, and I'm not sure he knows he's surrounded by the rest of Mousesports coming in.
Yeah, but
so, Primal Roar comes out. They're just looking for the swap. Don't know if it's going to be in time. They've got the Wukong's command coming out. There's the balance strike to hit on Oliver. They haven't killed him just yet with that Ghost Shroud. They'll take out 1 in SSA Spartan. They'll lose Boogie. A nice Echo Slam comes out on 2. They haven't taken out RMN yet. He'll run away. They look towards 9. They'll get that kill. 3 are dead. And let's see if they can continue moving in on DNZ and possibly clean up Oliver afterwards. 1 more shot would do it. Maybe next time, continuing to chase. They got Oliver off screen. They'll get a full team wipe. And that will be a great fight for Mousesports by this tier 1 bottom.
Yep, there's some excellent positioning from Mousesports. And Penta Sports, they were wrapping around trying to go for sort of an ambush, but all of the important heroes on Mousesports, they were hidden on the right side in the trees. So the only target that got picked off was the Wisp. And the Wisp did eventually buy back and relocated. And so the Death Prophet and the Necrophos didn't really get to do anything that fight, because the Necrophos got bursted almost down to 0% immediately, and the Echo Slam prevented the Death Prophet from getting any of her soul siphons off.
So a very good fight from Mousesports. Puts them up 7,000 net worth, and now they're the ones leading experience by quite a bit at 3,000. Just positioned so well, and Penta down 8,000 net worth. What do they really do? You can't, without your towers in the top lane, no tier 1s in mid and bottom. Where do you really go to farm and slow this game down and kind of pull your way back?
It looks pretty bleak, but I think their plan this game should be to keep the lanes pushed out as much as possible, prevent your heroes from getting picked off, which means that the only... well, I guess they don't really have any heroes that can farm safely, but try to farm as safely as possible and look for as many pickoffs as possible. Or try, in this case, they probably have to do some counter ganks, since their pickup potential is quite weak this game. Mousesports, though, their plan is to take Roshan and maybe try to get a Rax, or maybe try to take the remaining outer towers with this Aegis.
So they pick up the Aegis. It'll be picked up on Thug on the Sniper, who's top of the net worth now, 35 or 2,500 in front of the Death Prophet, just continuing to widen that margin. And Sniper, not really a hero that slows down.
Yep. I mean, this is the kind of game that really benefits Beastmaster and Monkey King. They're farming on their own side of the map, or they're farming on every side of the map, and the enemy team is so scared of trying to push them because of the Wisp relocate, and because there's just so much stun potential from Mousesports' lineup. So you see, like Penta, they have 3 heroes parked bottom, well, because they have to be next to each other. And mousesports, as soon as they move in, Penta kind of had to run.
They're trying to move in. Boundless Strike hits on the Venge. A couple of shots will come through from the sniper. They'll clean up Boogie and make it look very easy.
Yep. That's actually a really cool ward from the Radiant in their own jungle to protect it or to look for potential pickoffs. So it's cool to see that maybe mousesports, they don't have just these offensive wards in the enemy jungle, but also wards in their own jungle, because you know, when the enemy is aware that their jungle is not safe, they're gonna naturally go to your jungle. And pretty cool ward and pretty cool pick off there.
So you take a look over mid. Sniper just about finished with this Hurricane Pike, continuing again to widen that margin. You take a look up top as Oliver's gonna drop.
It was a quick death. I don't blame you if you missed that one. He dropped in half a second.
I tried to look up. I was looking at the sniper, saw him go top, and then he was already dead.
Yep. At this point, the Beastmaster can solo kill anyone.
You know, he's strong, but that's not fair to me. I gotta be able, like, let the kills last maybe a second or two so I can get myself up there. Would be nice.
Penta Sports in a bit of trouble right now. Really, their only hero that can farm safely is the Weaver, just because of that mobility.
And he started out as a support, so he's the only one who's able to farm. Do you transition him, try and go core, or is it just too late for that?
It's probably a little bit too late. I mean, the items that Weaver buys as core, like the Medallion Urn one, they're still very useful. The problem is you'll never have this Weaver at this point, like Hurricane, Pike, Daedalus, Heart, all that stuff. It's gonna be a long time before we see the Weaver up to that, and I'm pretty sure mousesports is gonna try to close up the game. So probably won't see any carry Weaver transition anytime soon. Because for now, I think Penta Sports, they're stuck defending this tier 3, or at least responding to the push from mousesports.
It seems like they're stuck and corralled in their base, down 13-3, 12,000 net worth in favor of mousesports. This is really where they have to win this fight, because it could just be the last one as they try to defend this bottom tier 3 and set a rack. So
yeah, the real question for Penta is how do you actually stop this fight? You have the sniper hitting the tower from over 1,000 range away. And he has Aegis.
Oh my, Boundless Strike and Fissure almost gets the kill on the Weaver, uses that time lapse just to get out, but you just see right there, Fissure and Boundless Strike, that's a lot of damage to these supports.
Yeah, I mean, it's asking a lot, but I'm pretty sure Penta Sports, in order to defend against this, they probably have to smoke and wrap around and try to stop that blink from the Earthshaker and get on top of the sniper while killing the Wisp.
And even if
they'll start the smoke.
Even if they do get that successfully, there's still the Aegis out on the sniper, so...
Yeah. They need the biggest chain frost of their lives right now.
Let's see if they notice this tree. There it is. There's the ping. You've got Exorcism coming through with Armen. They're going to have Wisp on the back end. He's going to try and get out, but he's not going to be able to run away enough from the Death Prophet. Thug getting quite low. They've got an Echo Slam on the side from maybe next time. So one's dead on Penta. They're looking for more, but now they've lost 2 heroes. So they've already lost Beastmaster, but Venge drops on Penta. They'll lose another in Thug one more time. Madara, he's the only one that's left here up top, or over bottom. And they'll lose him as well. 4 die on mousesports. Penta, they'll take that hold.
Yeah, that team fight went almost perfectly for Penta Sports. So I think the first thing to note is that they placed this ward on the cliff, and they placed the sentry on the cliff to make sure that mousesports didn't have a ward up there. And maybe it was a bit of undersight, or like a bit of a mistake for mousesports not to check that ward, but that ward helped immensely for Penta Sports. So what happened was they opened the fight with the silence on the Wisp and I think the Beastmaster. So those 2 heroes were out of the fight immediately, and maybe they got a little bit lucky, but Earthshaker got clipped by a spell that prevented his blink, so there was no counter initiation from the Earthshaker. And from there, really, with the Wisp and the Beastmaster out of the fight, Penta Sports, they just won it. They got on top of the sniper, and really, Sniper needs heroes to be able to protect him for him to survive in these team fights.
Ooh, maybe
so
next
really
time.
well done by Penta Sports there.
Yeah, they hold. They cut the deficit by 4,000. Could see them do it again, and all of a sudden the game is back to reality for them.
Yep. And so, you know, they're really not back in the game yet, but they need to get to that point where their heroes are so tanky that mousesports can't really deal with all of them, right? Because all of the heroes on Penta are sort of like a time bomb. Like the longer the fight goes for Necrophos and Death Prophet, the better the fight is for them. Well, except until the exorcism runs out, but I think that's what they were going for with this lineup when they picked up heroes like the Death Prophet and the Venge. These super tanky teamfight heroes.
So Mao's pushing out these lanes once again. Probably see them wait till the next Roche. But that does lock Penta down on this side of the river.
So Death Prophet has a Solar Cross, picked up another Plate Mail going for that Shiva's, sitting at 33 armor with the, or 34 armor with the Frost armor. So she's quite difficult to kill. The only problem is she has to get her Soul Siphons off because her actual HP pool is quite low.
Invisibility.
Yeah, only 1460 at just about level 17, so not a lot, but a lot of armor.
Yeah. And Monkey King picks up this Echo Saber, picks up this Diffusal to help him deal with the Necrophos and the Frost armor as well.
Necro going Radiance, if he has it in time for the next fight, is that, you know, the major change, the major item that Penta need?
It gives him a lot of damage, but it also helps the Necrophos push out lanes and farm in general. And really, if I think about Necrophos this game, there's not a lot of items that help him at this point in time. Like he needs a lot of items in order to win this game, and in order to get a lot of items, you need an item like Radiance to help you farm and push out waves. And so, not a bad item pickup by him,
Yeah,
but it does mean that he's planning to delay the game quite a bit, I think.
And then
That's pretty much their objective right now.
Weaver's got 200 gold till Axe. So that should be very interesting coming out from Penta.
Yeah, that'll be huge for them actually, because so much of mousesports' lineup is reliant on killing people on their stuns. They don't really have huge AoE on their team, so a lot of their team fight is just a single pick off or just trying to like stun lock as many heroes as possible.
Relocating over bottom to try and take this tier 3. There's the glyph. Skylark and SA Spartan are going to be forced back. In just a moment, there it is. So they come in, try to do a little bit of chip damage. The glyph is forced out. They do end up getting the tower with the necro creeps and the boars. So now the shrines are open, and that's sort of a big deal for Mao. Is going to be able to stop the side of Penta coming in close for the next Roche.
Yep, that removes a lot of map control from Penta and helps not just Roche, but helps kind of scare Penta Sports, because now they don't have as quick of a TP response if something happens around those shrines. And Penta, they're playing pretty carefully right now. They're sort of grouped up in the right places and making sure that they have sufficient warding to see any potential ganks. You can see that Penta were sort of suspicious because there's really no one on mousesports showing on the map right now, as far as I can tell. And so they're just moving to know it's safe, which is in the ward vision and the enemy jungle. Mousesports, you can sort of see that Mousesports also kind of dropped their aggression a little bit. They're playing on their side of the map. Haven't really seen them gone for any pickoffs, but I think that's because they're also waiting for the next Roshan.
And the next Roche up in just 25 seconds, so Mao's nearby. They should be there when it spawns. Should be an easy Aegis for them, but they have a Aegis in that last fight too, down bottom. So
Yep.
We'll see if it's even enough for them to break through this Penta defense.
Yep, they have to be a lot more careful of their positioning and a lot more aware of what Penta Sports is doing. I think that wraparound with the smoke was pretty perfect for Penta Sports, and mousesports, they have to make sure they have vision of the actual relevant location, because last time mousesports, they had a ward like near the bounty rune, which didn't cut it because it didn't spot the smoke, and it didn't spot the heroes once their smokes were broken. And Penta Sports, they were surprisingly patient with that fight. They took the time to ward and to kind of assess the situation to see where to place their silence and who to go on. And I'm not sure if it was a fluke that they broke the blink on the Earthshaker and the Monkey King, but it worked out really well for them.
So Oliver and RMN, they're over near bottom. You've got Wisp and Skylark actually relocating. They're going to go bottom once again, throw these Necro Creeps and try and get out, but Skylark is going to be swapped up by Boogie, now stuck inside this base. That's a big problem for him while he takes the range rack, so give up his life as well as a Say Spartan gives up his. So they give up 2 kills just for range racks, going for these aggressive relocates.
Yep. Doesn't seem too worth it for mousesports, but it's something. Yeah, at this point, mousesports is just gonna continue to outfarm Penta, since they have access to more of the map than Penta. Looks like there was a gank attempt there, and Penta's actually starting to get working on Roshan. The Beastmaster and the Wisp burn up for another 10 or so seconds.
And they take this Roche pretty quickly, but there's the Assassinate into this Death Prophet. They know that they've been seen, especially with the Shrapnel. And we'll see if they can continue to go in. They've got Echo Slam available. Now there's the Wisp and Beastmaster up.
Sort of a really bad situation for Penta, actually. They dedicated the Exorcism and didn't get Roshan out of it. So mousesports, as soon as they're in position, they might look to fight Penta or try to go for a Roshan or finish it. Yep.
And this Venge was in this core role, only has Gem, Drums, Phase Boots, Aquila. So it just seems like the Venge has been stymied up to this point, has less farm than the Weaver, and now Mouse, they head into the Roche pit. Nobody coming in from Penta. They tried to go in for the Roche themselves. They didn't get it, and now the Aegis on the side of Mouse on Thug once again.
Well, it's not really an ideal game for Venge. Venge isn't a hero that catches up quickly. She doesn't have any AoE farming mechanics, and she doesn't really clear camps quickly, so once she's behind, she doesn't usually catch up. And I'm not sure if that was... now that I think about it, the play from Penta might have been to just time-lapse the Dead Prophet from the Assassinate damage and try to finish Roche while they still had that last couple of seconds before the Beastmaster was coming out. I mean, you're not... As long as you don't get multiple heroes caught in the Roche pit, it's not really scary for Penta Sports there. I mean, you're scared of the Echo Slime if all your heroes are in the pit, but half, or a lot of mousesports' damage in the Beastmaster was gone for the time being.
So Madara just trying to chip damage this shrine, and they lose that ward that was just placed there by SA Spartan, as they're trying to keep control at least a little bit over bottom.
Yep.
So
Death Prophet's starting to get super tanky.
5-man smoke comes out from Penta. Looking for the Octarine core next is Oliver. And there's the smoke broken. Oliver, RMN, and the rest of the team are going to be here. There's the Shivas being used by the Death Prophet. Thug staying alive. He's on the outside of this fight. That might be a problem for Penta. They continue to get rocked down, but they've taken out the Beastmaster first. BKB is going to be forced out by Thug. He's still continuing to try and run away. He's getting low on health. There's the Echo Slam onto the Death Prophet. They'll clean her up. And now they look for more. Assassinate comes in onto the Lich. That'll be a third. And now it looks like it's all falling apart for Penta as they start to try and run. Boogie is going to be chased by the entire side of Mouse. And the Balance Strike as well as the Fissure hits on both these heroes. They clean up one more. They look towards Oliver. The Shrapnel will slow him down. There's the Totem, the Assassinate. Rampage for Thug. All 5 are dead on Penta. and a big-time win for mousesports.
Not the ideal team fight from Penta. I mean, it was the right idea to smoke at that time because mousesports was sort of spread out, and you can't really deal with mousesports once they're grouped up hitting your tier 3, or it's difficult. And so they went for that smoke. Unfortunately, they didn't actually see the Monkey King. So what had happened was Monkey King was transformed into a tree, and sort of like the whole Penta Sports lineup, they ran past the Monkey King, and the Monkey King was able to isolate the Necrophos from the fight, which I think hurt Penta Sports' team fight a lot.
So they get that rampage. They're up 15,000 net worth. Sniper continuing to be a huge problem. He almost got taken out in that fight twice. But Thug surviving as the rest of his team, the Monkey King and the Earthshaker especially, helped demolish Penta Sports.
Yep. We didn't really talk about it before the team fight, but there's a BKB picked up on Monkey King and Sniper, which is huge because a lot of Penta Sports' damage is actually magical right now. I mean, the physical damage carry that Venge was supposed to be isn't very farmed, and so it's just, when the BKBs are up on Sniper and Monkey King, there's really not a lot for them to be afraid of. So I'm pretty sure that for Penta Sports' next fight, they have to look to pick off one of these two heroes before they get their BKBs off.
That's a pretty difficult task, especially when Monkey King or Madara is being very elusive to the rest of Penta Esports, and Thug kind of sits in the back end.
Yep. And we should also note that Sports, they lost their gem, and it was picked up by the Beastmaster. Actually, the kill being scouted out from the Earthshaker. I guess he backs off.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
So Penta just looking to push this top tier 1, but meanwhile, you've got Venge in a lot of trouble. There's the time lapse coming in from the Weaver. They'll keep the Venge alive, get the kill on Skylark. Meanwhile, Thug will take out DNZ.
Did he travels in there, or did he just walk in?
Travel's not on cooldown. He died recently. I'd say he just walked in.
He just walked in. He's a look.
So you take a look. Oh, swap to keep our men alive. Echo Slam used on the Venge. They don't even get the kill yet. There's the time lapse to keep him alive. So a bit thrown and a BKB used by Madara. They don't get anything for it just yet, and now the chase is on from Penta. They're continuing to move over. The Fissure's going to split them up, but it will be enough to get the kill on the Monkey King and keep Penta moving forward.
I think Penta are going to go for a tier 2 here, so really good pick off there. Actually, it was a really good counter initiation, so the swap from the Weaver, and then the Weaver saved the Venge. So pretty cool move there. They'll pick up a tier 2, but I don't imagine they'll get anything else out of this. Still, though, they kind of close the gap.
12,000 net worth still.
Feels like Skylark is getting a little impatient trying to go for this bottom racks. At the Sports doing the right, having the right idea. They had someone set up there already, and they're keeping their lanes pushed out as much as possible, but there's a relocate bottom on this Lich.
Yeah,
Big
but
chain
the Chain Frost is pretty nice. Now the creeps will mitigate that damage. They still continue to try and go in on SSA Spartan, but they'll lose too. The Reaper Scythe comes in on the Wisp, and now it's just Thug against Oliver. We'll see who wins this fight, but Oliver's going to be quite strong. The BKB forced out Skylark here with the Primal Roar, and it's a triple kill for Thug. 11, 1, and 9 for this Sniper, doing a very good job. Gets 3 kills there, bottom. As Skylark comes in for the assistance.
Yep. There's no exorcism on the Death Prophet, so this is a bit of a hard defense from Penta. I think all they can really do is try to spam it out as much as possible and keep the Weaver safe so that the Weaver can time-lapse any attempt to kill the Death Prophet.
Death Prophet a bit far forward. There's the Fissure, the Blink on, the Totem Assassination, Echo Slam, Time Lapse again to keep him alive. But I don't think that's really going to do the trick. The swap almost enough. But Death Prophet falls. The Wukong's command is there. Boogie the next to drop. And only 2 remain for this defense. And Mao's going to continue to go in and clean up another one in DNZ.
Yep. Sniper Monkey King starting to get working on these tier 4s. I mean, it looks pretty bad for Penta Sports. Really, all they can do right now is wait for their heroes to respawn and see if their throne's still alive at that point, but not much the Weaver can do in this situation.
It's not going to look like really that much. He tries to run away. The buyback's there from the Venge, but you've lost your tier 4s. They go for the Ancient to try and clean up this first game. Blink Primal Roar. The swap comes in on Thug, but really not doing anything. RMN will drop. Looking like Boogie's going to be the next one to fall in this exchange, but Reaper Scythe will keep Boogie alive for the time being, and they do end up taking out Madara. Boogie dies again, Oliver alive, but for how long is really the question. The Chain Frost comes down on these 2 heroes, bounces back and forth. They'll end up taking out DNZ. Oliver still alive on the back end, really not doing as much as he'd like, but does get the kill on a Sport.
Oh.
9 up against Thug. There's the Yules with the Spirit Siphon, the Ghost Shroud on top of him. 3 die. Mouse. Don't want to be throwing these kills away.
You really don't. I don't think the Wisp was there right away because he relocated into the base and then he had to walk back or TP back. And so, wasn't there at the start of the fight. And Penta Sports, I mean, whenever they can get on top of mousesports' lineup, that's when their team fight actually kicks in. You got the Radiance and on the Necrophos and the Exorcism from the Death Prophet, and so really I don't know if mousesports sort of overextended by staying there so long, but definitely should have been more careful while being in that base.
So 30 to 17. Ooh, relocate. Gonna be at the Ancient. Here come the TPs back. Yeah, backdoor protection. This is another Skylark move that is gonna cost them a Wisp. Or not.
No, decides not to spend that Reaper Scythe. That's a 100-second cooldown now. I mean, that was a pretty big nerf to Necrophos when they nerfed the cooldown on that. I'm pretty sure if it was the old 60-second or whatever, the Necro surely would have gone for that. And so back to business for Penta Sports and mousesports, just keeping their lanes, or Penta keeping their lanes pushed out, making sure that the relocate into throne cannot occur.
Still has
there's a
backdoor
refresh
protection.
orb being built on the Beastmaster. Earthshaker just narrowly misses a gank in the top lane.
They are going to go for this Roche again. 3rd Roche for mousesports. Going to be Aegis again on the Sniper. And Cheese picked up by Madara. See if they can get it finished this time around now with the Aegis again. And the Cheese pushing up top. And we'll see if they're able to defend on the side of Penta one more time.
So refresher completed on Beastmaster.
And Octarina on the Death Prophet, but we'll see if Death Prophet, if that's even enough. A hard target to kill, really. 42 armor, as well as with the Spirit Siphon, the Exorcism, and the Necro right there. Could be a problem.
Yeah, you even have the Octarine core doing some magic heal. And, Penta just playing it safe for now. I mean, mousesports is going to try to just push in through that bottom lane and take out the throne at this point, I believe, with the Aegis. And so Penta want to stay in the game. They probably have to take this team fight outside of mousesports, or outside of their base. And they actually have this board that's spotting out at least 4 heroes from mousesports. And so Penta's going to want to be set up either on their ramp or outside of their base. It looks like they're going to smoke. They can't let mousesports into their base.
Oop. Time lapse is used somewhere on the map. Heard that for just a moment. There's the Primal Spring to try and move forward. The Chain Frost comes out, bouncing around these creeps as well as Madara. The Reaper Scythe already used, but BKB is out on the Monkey King. You take a look. Nice Echo Slam. Balance Strike cleans them up. 2 dead already, so they're going to lose both the Weaver as well as the Lich. The Relocate is going to be out of this Wukong's command, which is friendly to them, but now they're going to lose the Death Prophet, lose the Venge, and now all they have alive is Oliver, and he's going to fall as well. Double kill for Thug. You take a look towards 9 one more time, trying to get back to that base. GG called, and mousesports will take game 1.
And talking about that last team fight there, the Monkey King and the Beastmaster ended up breaking the smoke from Penta, but oddly enough, Penta, they actually blinked in their Weaver. I think the Weaver wanted to get a ward before the fight started, so he blinked up the cliff, broke his smoke. I think he got spotted, but he got the ward down in time.